Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today for the League of Goddesses Spotlight interview. I am so excited to introduce you to all of the women in the league.
Me too.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I already know you, and I'm just like, she's a badass. So let's go ahead and we'll just jump right into this. Just so you know, the first few questions are going to be quick and easy. And then as we continue on down, they'll get a little bit more deep and intimate and fun. So my first question is, do you have any nicknames?
Yes. So most of the time I go by Jess. Like family, things like that. But a fun nickname from when I was a kid is Messy Jessie. Yes.
Are you messy?
So it stems from a picture of me in a high chair with chocolate pudding just everywhere. And ever since then, I was Messy Jessie. And my family is really the only ones that are allowed to call me Jessie. I don't like the name, but my mom is Sue. And she was the baby of the family. So she's Susie and I'm Jessie. And it just kind of flows in the family. Yes.
I like it. I'm like, oh, Susie and Jessie. I also like Messy Jessie. And I love that the story was like food involved.
Yes.
I wasn't going, I was like, you didn't see Messy when we hung out?
No. Definitely comes from food.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So when is your birthday?
March 29th.
Wonderful. And your favorite color?
Black.
Girl, I'm right there with you. I'm like, I love black. Love it. My husband tried to ban me from buying any more black dresses. And I was like, you can hold your breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not the same. Everyone is different.
No, it's not going to happen. It's the best color ever. Okay. Coffee or tea, girl?
Coffee.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Although I do love tea, but it's like, man, if I don't have my coffee, no one's going to want to talk to me.
I am the same way. Same way.
Awesome. Okay. So this question always is really intriguing for me. If you could only pick one, what would it be? Book, blog, or podcast?
Book.
Me too. Do you ever smell them?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, I ask everyone that says book this.
Yeah, I love the smell of the bookstore.
Do you feel weird? You're like, I just hope nobody saw me.
Yeah, this one smells good. I'll buy it.
Okay, that's it. I have said this now for like years. And the more that I ask women who read books this, and the more they give me this answer, I feel like we need to come up with a book candle.
Oh.
You could burn.
Yes.
Right? I'm like, dude, I would buy those all day.
All day long.
Let's do it. Okay, so since you're a book girl, tell me, what is your favorite book of all time? Like if you could only take one to a deserted island, what would it be?
There's so many. I've done a lot of reading this year. I think one of the books that impacted me the most was The Greatest Salesman.
Ooh.
It's really short. And I read that very early on in my career. And I think that was a really good, just kind of, there's a lot of messages in there, I would say. And so that was really good. This year, I mean, gosh, I've read anything from Relentless to The Power of Now. Like they're all just great.
Nice. So would you say that one is your favorite?
I would say The Greatest Salesman is probably my favorite.
I'm going to have to look into that one because I haven't ever read it before, but I feel like that could be really impactful for some of the ladies in the league.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And then this question, you kind of already answered it a little bit, but what is your favorite book currently?
So I just finished this morning Matthew McConaughey's book.
No way. I didn't even know he wrote one.
Yes.
What is it called?
Green Lights. Yes, I was looking for it here on my table, but I don't have it. And I don't read a whole lot of biographies like that, or man, I don't know what he called it, but it was good. There's a lot of good, just life lessons in there.
Really,
from someone that I would put him in the league if he was a female.
Feel like
he's that deep soul, he talked a lot about I had this dream and I was in the Amazon. So I just went to figure out what the dream was. And I'm like, oh, who does that? But he was very deep. And I thought we need more deep people like this.
Yeah. I didn't know that about him. So now I'm all curious. I'm like, ooh, you're good books. Thank you.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to need to start like a running list of books recommended by people as they do these interviews. Because every single time I'm like writing it down and I'm like, get that book, get that book. So it'd be really cool. I'm going to do that. Okay. That being said, can you tell us the name of your business and a little bit about it?
Sure. So my business is called Pull Through Sights, and I'm actually in our camper right now. We're on a week-long trip. We're just about done with it. But I saw a need for kind of bridging that gap for weekend campers like me. So there's tons of people out there that live in their campers full time, and that's beautiful and that's wonderful. But nobody really talks to or cares too much about the weekend camper like me. You know, the woman that is working a 9 to 5 or 80 hours a week and just needs to find that time to relax. This is relaxation for me. You know, if I could give you a whole tour, but the lake is right there. We overlook it, you know, the fire's going, like this is relaxation. This is me recharging. And, you know, that's what I wanted my business to be about, was just being that voice for those weekend campers, those women like me that are like, I'm going to crush it every day of the week, and then I'm going to have an escape, and it's going to be easy and it's going to be fun, because if it's not, nobody's going to do it.
Right.
So that's kind of the message behind our brand. We started with apparel and apparel and lifestyle, and we will get into selling RVs and kind of being a voice in the industry.
That is beautiful. And, you know, the more that I speak to the women and interview the ladies of the league, I realize how many of us, it's so important to be in nature. And I didn't realize, I don't know how I missed this all along, but every single one of us is like being in nature, being around the fire, looking at the lake. And I'm like, we're all this way. Yes. So girl, please be our voice, because I think we need it.
And we do. And you don't realize how awesome nature is. You know, like we come to this spot a lot, and this is up near Hannibal, Missouri. But in the back of this park is this just rock that oversits the lake. And I hike down there almost every morning because I can just sit there and it's peaceful, you know. Or, you know, 2 weeks ago we were here. I walked down to the lake to actually go fishing. I had this weird thing to go fishing, and I'm like, why do I want to fish? And I was like, I'll just take my pole and go. I walked down there. There's an 8-point buck that's trying to swim across the cove. Oh, and I just sat there and just watched him. I have a half-hour video on my phone, you know, and I'm just like, God, this is nature.
Yes.
This is everything evolving outside of me.
Yes. You just, okay. Out here. Literally, girl, I was in an interview before you, and that is exactly what I told her. I was like, I like to explore nature because none of it did I create. None of it evolves around me. None of it needs me. Nope. And it's gorgeous. Like, you could put me in, and I told someone else this the other day, you put me in Tiffany's, and it's beautiful, and I'm sure I can find something I like. Put me in nature, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's gorgeous. And leave me out there for quite a while, and I will find so many things and come back so peaceful. So it's really, what you're doing is just really unique, and I'm very excited to watch it grow and just be a part of, you know, supporting you do that. So I think that more women, if they knew how easy it can be, and if they knew how much fun it was, but it's kind of been a man's sport, you know, this is a man's thing. We go camping, you all stay home, whatever. You don't want to come out here. There's spiders and shit. And it's like, well, yeah, but there's also the most gorgeous things in the world. So we're going to have to go camping. Yeah.
Well, and I think what people don't realize is, like, you know, my husband's here with me. He's hunted all week. Yeah. That's his thing, you know, and like my mother-in-law and his aunts and stuff, they don't come with their husbands, but I do, because you go do your thing.
And I'll do mine.
And I'll do mine.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do it my way.
Okay. So my next question, you kind of already answered it, I think, but I'm still going to ask, what is your bliss?
Honestly, it is. I mean, just being able to, I say do it my way because, you know, here I am sitting here with Wi-Fi to make sure that I can still work when I want to work, but go out and watch the fire and the lake and listen for deer and watch the deer. I mean, they're everywhere in this park. So it's like, this is bliss to me because I get the best of both.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you and feel very similarly. So beautiful. Can you tell me now, I'm going to switch a little bit, pivot. Why did you join the League of Goddesses?
Well, so I met you last October, I guess it was, so a little over a year ago. And I just was taken back. I was like, wow. Because I'm a woman who I like to compete in a man's world. Like my husband's in construction and I always sit back and go, I could run a company in construction. Like, and I would want to do it. 25% of I would want to do it to be a woman in that business and dominate. Right. So when I met you, I was like, oh, she's doing it. Like that's her. And so I was really just taken aback, like, oh, wow. Yes. And then when I heard about this, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, let's see what this is all about. And I'm very hesitant to join any women's groups because I'm not the woo woo type. Like if you do that, whatever that Strengths Finder is, woo is my last one. Like I don't want that. I just don't. And so I thought, okay, well, we'll see what it's about. Anything with your name on it probably is not, it's probably a mix of both or something. And so what I really, but coming and then finding that's the other side of me that I was missing. Yeah. That was the side that I was searching for, was that deeper connected side. And to be around women that are deeper connected, but aren't the woo. Yeah. Are really just kind of their business. We're focused, we're business, we're get it done, we're going to dominate, and we're also connected. And I'm like, that's what I needed. That's what I was looking for. Girl, that's what I needed. And so I was just like, well, I'm going to make this happen somewhere because that's kind of, I was in the same boat as you. Woo is great. It's for some people and it's not for others. Right. That doesn't mean that I'm not spiritual, and that doesn't mean that I don't want to connect. And I just had to find the right way for me. And so for me, this was it. And I'm so glad that it's able to fill that for you too. So that makes me really happy. So can you tell me, and you kind of answered this one too, you're so perceptive, what do you hope to attain from this community? I don't know. I'm a giver. So, or I think of myself in that way. Like, so I immediately thought, well, I want to give. And I'm like, no, you asked what I want to receive. I think overall, just what you have said with the bigger vision of being able to just go anywhere and pick up and go, this is a woman that understands. I am in Chicago and I would love to have coffee with somebody. I have 2 hours, and you're going to pick up and talk to someone that understands that you're on the same level in some capacity. I think that's finding those women that are on the same level has been great. Is it just to be seen? Is that really? Yeah. Is it beautiful? And know that she sees you, you see her, you're kind of connected here, and it just flows. That's beautiful. I love it. I feel like there's already been so much of that in the league, and it excites me to watch it grow. And I'm just like, oh, this makes me really happy. Okay, so now, because this is what you were looking for, what do you wish to contribute to the league? This will be easy. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I am kind of that example. I think more than anything in my life, I did some reflection yesterday morning, and I was sitting down there by the lake, and I thought, I don't like to be a mentor, like a coach, sure, I can mentor whatever, but I want to be an example. And I want to be an example for the women in the league of like, I am somebody that has started at the bottom, and I will work my way up, and I've done it in a way that I've connected to other women. I have always been a helper, a give back to my community. So really anything that somebody needs, I want to make sure that they know they can share it, because there's so many women out here that are like, I know this, I know that, I can help here. And just helping them connect. And if I can do that by being an example by posting my truths within the group, by, doing those kind of things. And it's like, okay, I see her doing it, so now I can do it. And somebody else was really struggling, but they shared. And because they shared, they now get the help that they need.
That's beautiful. Kind of like a conductor.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like a connector. I like it. Beautiful. Okay, so the next question is, can you tell me who is important in your life?
I would say my husband is probably my number one. It's just him and I. And it, as much as he, is aggravating and everything else, oh my God. He is my other half. He is my partner. I will tell you that at the age of 22 years old, I had no idea what love or marriage or any of that was. And we struggled just like everybody else, but we have come out on the other side 100 times stronger. And I think that that's, to say that you have a person, so many people throw that around, and I don't think that they understand that, no. Like, there's a deeper, when that that's your person, there's that connection.
That's so funny. I don't know how many people say that, but Charles and I say that, like, you're my person. And it's just like home. That's what it means to me.
Yes.
I'm like, you feel like home. Like, you're as close to me as I am close to me, if that even makes sense. Weird.
No, and that's absolutely true. And I think for my husband, we are in very different, just very different, but he is home. He will bring me back down. He will bring me when I am anxiety and 100 miles a minute and going here and going there. He is that safe haven, that home, that person that says, hey, you should probably stop.
We'll take a break and come back tomorrow. Right. It's not going to disappear.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I love that. And I love finding other people that feel that way about their spouse. It's so beautiful. And when you have a good relationship, you're always hoping everyone has a good relationship, right?
Right.
So, yeah, you just wish that for others. And can I just pause to say, your hair looks fucking killer.
No,
it's been out there for a week.
Nuts.
No, it does. Because as soon as I saw you and the Zoom came on, I was like, oh my God, her hair looks so good. And then I got sidetracked. So I had to tell you, your hair looks gorgeous. I'm like, after a week, I don't know how you did it, but any tips you want to share is good.
No, it's all in there. Curling iron, blow dryer. That's why this sucker is 40 foot long, because I bring my own,
bring my stuff.
Bring my stuff.
Well, it looks gorgeous. You look beautiful. Okay, my next question is always intriguing for me to hear the answer to, because you can take it two ways. So the question is, what dream have you made come true? So it could either be your own personal dream, or maybe a dream that you made come true for someone else.
I'm going to be perfectly honest, that's a struggle for me.
Ooh.
Because I think that my dreams are huge. I know that I shared a little bit, like at the retreat, like I dream of 530 acres. Like my dreams are huge. So one of the things that I have tried to work on, and I'm going to do even more, is look at those little wins. Those, try to get some smaller dreams, so that, I can celebrate those a lot more. I don't know that. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's a hard one.
No.
Like, I try to impact people's lives through volunteering and all those kind of things. And I think I have a very, very high expectation for a dream coming true. Yeah. And so
you're like, well, that wasn't really a dream. That was just a high goal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that was just a goal, and
girl, I feel you. I'm like, yeah.
To share, again, those small little wins, if I could share that with somebody. I mean, I was just looking at my notes app while I was on this trip, and I was like looking at some, stuff I had written down a couple months ago. And I was like, oh, did that. And I was like, I didn't even stop to think that was big. I accomplished that. But again, they're goals. Yeah. The big stuff, let's talk in 5 years. And then I'll say, hey, I got it. I got that dream.
So basically I just need to ask your 5 year old, like 5 years previous, Jessica, what were you dreaming about then?
Yes.
So I'm curious. Like, what were you dreaming about?
So 5 years ago, I probably was dreaming of stabilization for my husband and I. So 2015, I had just started with a different company doing, I was a director of operations, and that was the first time that I had non-commissioned income since I had started out of college. And so my dreams 5 years ago were stabilization, and just for him being in construction, and we never rely on his income because you just don't know. Mm-hmm. And so I would say we're at that stabilization point. Can we get better? Absolutely. We all can get better, but we are at, I tell people, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't say this to brag, but like, to say that we roll down the road with $100,000 rig between the truck and the camp, this was our place to get to, and now we're here.
So there you go.
I guess that's if you want to call that one. There you go.
I love it. No, it's beautiful. I knew, just because I'm very similar and I discount things at times, never anyone else's, just my own. I'm like, well, of course I could do that. That was just easy. It was a little goal. But yeah, so I found that technique works. It's like, wait, what was I hoping for then? And yeah, so see, you're killing it. And now everybody can see what you feel that is.
Yeah.
So tell me now then, what does your heart most desire at this time?
Community. And I think that's not just community around me, but me serving the community. In a multitude of ways. But I think community is one thing that just keeps coming back.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so this question's a little bit more light and fun, but if you were not Jessica and you were talking about Jessica to a girlfriend, how would you describe her?
I would probably say, watch out.
I love it.
She's going to ask a lot of questions. And she's going to be more interested in you than you will be of her, probably. And if you want to know more about her, you just have to ask, but she's not going to share it. That's how I would say it. Like, she's going to come out and she's going to ask you all these questions, and it's going to be overwhelming. And you're going to be like, who is this woman? Why is she asking me all this? And it's because I'm truly just curious. Like, who are you? What is it about you? And then, I don't often share about myself unless I'm asked.
That's very intriguing to me because I am very similar. It's like, well, if you really want to know, I'll tell you, but I already know about her. So now I want to know about you. Yeah. That's intriguing. I'm seeing so many similarities in our personality as we continue. I like it. Okay. So then tell me, what is your vision for humanity in the future? Like, if you had a vision and it would be granted, what would it be?
I'm going to go back to the word values. And I think that one of the things that Matthew McConaughey said in that book is, when he travels, he tries to honor the city that he's been in by, writing a letter about the city. And I think, and I've heard him on a podcast talk about the city of Austin and how it has Austin, if you've never been, has its own just uniqueness about it. And there's, a ton of people coming from California to Austin, and we don't need to get into that, but he didn't want that Austin to lose that. And I think deep rooted is values. And if everyone knew what their values were, I think the level of humanity would raise. I think that we would just see this beauty, because we would all have these bigger values of what it truly means for us. And there wouldn't be so much, I'm going to jump on this bandwagon, I'm going to jump on this one, I'm going to jump on this one. It's no, we all know. And then there's an understanding. Mm-hmm. There's a compassion. There's hey, you're not like me. We don't have the same values, but I respect you and you respect me because I know who I am. And I think there's so many people that don't have those values, they don't know, so therefore they don't know who they are. So it's just this wishy-washy all over the place. And it's like, gosh, if we just had values.
Yeah.
If our cities just had values.
That's a really intriguing one. If our cities did. And if we do, like, oh, when we move to this city, one of their values is fun, right? Or one of their values is excellence, or that would be super, dude, what a great idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and I think you know what you're getting into, you know where you're going to fall in line, and it really,
and you know what to expect, like you said, of the other person. If we all had our values tattooed on us somewhere, it's really easy to know, like, oh, okay, I know what I'm getting into here. Yeah.
right.
How intriguing. Okay, tell me, does this vision for humanity affect your decision making?
I would say yes and no. So one of the ideas that I came up with actually being up here the past couple weekends is putting together a book called Letters from Grandma. I think that there is a generation of women that we are going to lose in the next 15 years. And with that is going to be a very unique set of values. And I'm not saying that their values are right, and I'm not saying the values of today are wrong. It's not that, but there's a bridge. And I believe myself, I'm not to get too deep, but like I live in middle America. I'm a middle class, a product of a middle class. And like everything about me is in the middle, including the generation that I'm in. And I think that there is a lot of wisdom and a lot of values in a generation that's going to go away in 15 years that has not been passed down. And so I think that when I think about the future and the things that I want to do, and like a book about Letters from Grandma, what are those things that Grandma valued about love, the big things, and like, how can that be given to us?
That is such a unique perspective, Jessica, because I didn't really think about that, of course, until you mentioned it. I'm wondering what impacted, because I think you're right, there's a lack of transmission of information. And I'm curious if that has something to do with technology. We all started moving at such a fast pace, whereas these grandmas would have had more time with their daughters as they had children and they sat together and learned. The daughter learned from the mother as they were taking care of the grandchild together, and because things were different. And now everybody moves away. Everybody's too busy. Everybody's on the internet all the time. Everybody's working. And I'm really curious.
So, and we don't have to get too far into it, but like it is that, like, I think of like my mom's generation. She worked. She worked full time. I didn't learn to cook.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to cook because my husband taught me. I'm
hunting. You cook.
well, and what's crazy is, so we graduated high school together, but I'm the oldest. He's the baby. His parents are 20 years older than my parents.
Wow.
They have a different value set. His mom stayed home. So there were home cooked meals. There were all that kind of stuff. I didn't grow up that way.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's set of values. There's families having core values, families having core beliefs that are lacking because the mom and dad didn't learn it.
Yeah.
Because they had, they were that fast paced. They started that fast paced generation, and the grandma and grandpa just didn't, disconnect. Yeah. And so,
wow. I love that you brought that up. That is very deep. And I'm definitely going to take that outside of this conversation more, because I think it's a really good point that you bring up. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
My next question is, how have you implemented actions into your business to create this vision that you have?
Everything in my business has to mean something. I am somebody I have to see the meaning. I have to believe the meaning. And so everything, when it comes to my business, I'm not going to do it to do it. It has to mean something, and I'll be honest, I struggle with like social media right now, because I'm like, what does it mean? Why do I need it? why can't I just go out and shake hands? You know, and I deep down, I do understand the meaning. I do see the big picture, but what is the meaning? What is the purpose? What is the message? And so when I bring all that into my business, I look at it and go, okay, does this actually make sense? Is this impacting humanity in a great way? Or am I posting this or making this decision just to do it?
Also a lot of intention.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. That's beautiful. Okay, this question is the last question, but it's also one of my favorite, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to say. If you could share just one piece of advice or a tip that has been given to you that greatly impacted your life, what would it be?
I'm going to say two things. So I had a mentor. I was in the mortgage business for a number of years, and I had a really great mentor. And two things that he said to me, one was like the first day he said to me, there's nothing that you can do that I can't get you out of. And I have repeated that so many times to so many women because, especially younger women, because they think that they're going to fail. They think that oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing. And I'm like, there's nothing that you can do that we can't get you out of, you know, in most scenarios. And I think that gave me permission. Yeah. That gave me permission to be myself and go after something and learn lessons the hard way, knowing that I kind of always had a fail safe there. Yeah. And then he was the first one to teach me fail forward. As long as I learned, it didn't matter. If we lost our butts on a deal, did I learn something? Yep. And we moved on.
Wow. He sounds phenomenal. I'm like, oh, well, that guy's amazing.
He was a great guy. When I left there, it was a very, very sad day. We both bawled our eyes out, but at that point I had to do what was best for my family. So
of course. And I'm sure that's what he wanted for you. So.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Jessica, thank you so much for taking time on your getaway and vacation to connect with us. I am so excited to share this interview with the League. I know the ladies are going to absolutely love getting to know you. So thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. I know you're busy, so thanks for doing this.
Oh, girl, this is like a treat for me. I'm like, oh, I get to talk to girlfriends. And during the middle of the day, I feel like I'm playing hooky.
Oh, nice.
So I love it. All right. I'll chat with you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.